Then if this lane doesn't go too well for the Ricky, then he's someone who has a lot of difficulty with keeping up in farm. He doesn't really have that steroid, so we shall see how Lal is going to be able to shape up here for the Ricky. But we got a all capitals good luck from Saberlight, so he's very, very excited. No they weren't trying to guess if they drafted their hero before they, maybe, I mean, they already picked, of course, the Slark before Arteezy went for his Phantom Assassin. So, no, cute mind games here.
Should have been, this time it should have been Team Spirit being like, hey, you wanted Ricky, right? That last pick? We took your pick, right?
Yeah, we got your Ricky.
I don't know if Abed is a Ricky player. I can't say that's a hero I know him for.
Oh, I don't know if I'd say anyone's a mid-Ricky, but I don't know. Apparently this hero is, I don't know. I don't know if I'm liking the old Ricky being in the meta or not. I don't know. It's an I mean, his shard's pretty cool. 6 armor's a lot though. I mean, 1400 gold for a Deso minus the damage, sure, but armor reduction's going to be very nice. So we shall see. You don't have the dagger, I suppose, to set up for the Mystic Flare, but
a brawl over these runes. Slark not the best level 1 fighter, and Shopify have numbers here. Get some really good damage in, and they're going to get the first blood.
Oh, and they're aggro tri-laning, it looks like, as well. They're going to send Saberlight up top lane. So they're trying to dodge the potential Slark Underlord matchup and trying to get aggressive in the face of Slark. And I mean, it's already off to a great start. And we see that they're committing now to this lane bottom, importantly. So Utoro's already TP'd, and they're aware of this. So Shopify, they'll be able to get the lane set up that they want.
Yeah, I think that's one of the coolest things about the new gate is that you can do these level 1 tri-lanes and then just suddenly you go swap into dual lanes. And also all of that silliness where, you want to get a certain matchup in your side lanes and, your carry or offlaners are like running across the map or jungling. That's kind of gone now, which I think is ultimately a good thing because that stuff was pretty clowny at times when it happened. So it's nice to see that, they just, okay, let's get rid of the clowniness where these heroes aren't playing Dota and just give them a free TP from one side to the other.
I just watched Crit use Blast Off to annoy Utoro and force him to reuse the gate. A couple of seconds wasted, so looks like Saberlight at the moment's going to stick around top. They've had plenty of time to re-swap the lanes if they wanted to, so seems like they're potentially still happy with the setup they've got.
Lapsus Magnus has come back down bottom now. All of these movements are being scouted. Double Observer Ward on the bottom gate. Both teams seeing all these TPs across the map. And they have 3 heroes down bottom. Potentially, if Collapse steps up too far, they are going to go for this kill. He's still level 1, so no points in the skewer. Means he's definitely a potential kill if they can get, like, level 2 on CM. Yeah, they got level 2 CM now.
Crit just left, though, so maybe without the techies, they might not be able to play too aggressive for Shopify. But yeah, the one lane that's static right now, it's a mid. It's a Ricky versus the Lesh. Looks like, honestly, to start, it's pretty solid for Lowell. He's got a bunch of creeps going under the tower as well, so if he's able to CS accordingly, should be ahead of Arbed, but it's a early ring of health for Lowell, which I do believe I actually saw Quinn go earlier on as well to play versus the Lesh, so maybe it's just this in particular thing in this matchup.
It makes sense. You're not really a good bottle hero, so this is just over the course of like the first 10 minutes of the game, you get more health regen from a ring of health than you do a bottle. You can build into some nice things later on, so good early sustain, and basically what you have to get as a Ricky here. I mean, he's playing around. He's got 14 health regen. Like, Ricky's base health regen is already pretty insane, so you combine him with a ring of health, and that's how you can actually play as a mid laner.
So, who do you feel like is really happy with the setup that we got in the side lanes? Like, even though that the Underlord's matching up into the Slark, is it going to be a little bit different? The fact that Saberlight is he actually going to go down? What's going on? Nice jump out from Utoro. Going to be able to dodge the blast off, and meanwhile Mirror is just freely being able to spell cast on the left side. He will still go down, but of course you get the kill into Saberlight before your death.
We're going to pick himself up a little Lotus for his efforts, but I don't think it favors anyone necessarily. I think it's going to come down to, like, the outplays in these lanes. Like, plays like that up top. Like, both sides have kill threat up there. It's Slark is getting the matchup he wants as far as playing to the Underlord, but it's still a very tough lane. Techie's Underlord with the AoE spam. Until Slark gets his level 6, like, he's just going to be in for a rough time. You can see he's just instantly getting nuked down to less than 100 health here.
Yeah, Crit's even trying to find the angle for the blast off as well inside the tree line. And they're just chasing him under the tower, so we can't freely CS. Sable, like, we'll feed his Courier away, but Mira's probably going to go down regardless. One more swipe. Another easy kill.
They did all that without even drawing tower aggro. That was the crazy thing. They were just playing around that tower aggro absolutely perfectly with the creeps there and get themselves basically a free Skywrath kill. So he's gonna be he's got no TP when he respawns, so he's gonna walk to lane 30 seconds before TP's back, which means Yatoro is just completely alone. So I guess to go back to your question, it seems that Shopify are happy with the lane setup for now.
Bottom lane, screw onto the tower. Teasy though, able to get the jump away. Still did take a decent chunk of damage. Looks like it's not going to be a concern though for the PA. This lane should be able to reshove out into Shopify's favor with a creep equilibrium. Might even be able to get the hard camp pull as well.
Yeah, gets that. Pull getting very close to his cornucopia, so that's going to be his health regen for the lane.
Do you rate this name as a new item?
The name, no.
No, you don't like it? Really?
No. That is the first time I've ever said cornucopia as a Dota caster. I never thought that's a word that I would ever use in my vernacular.
All right.
I'm a hater.
That's a big word you use in the vernacular. Cornucopia is added as well. I don't know.
That's what Dota's doing to me. It's making me all freaking elegant and
I thought we'd go with age you get elegant in general.
Next thing we're going to have the whole debate about how Aegis is pronounced again. Oh, it's actually pronounced Aegis. No.
Let's not. We could do that with so many items. Let's not go back to the same one. Let's not beat the dead horse. It's dead. It's dead already.
Yep.
Let's just leave it.
Good.
It's Aegis.
Agreed.
Dagon. Yeah, we could go through a lot of them. Oh, we got other things though. I mean, Crit, it's early rotation through the rift, collapse, pretty survivable under the tower, and he's probably gonna go down still nonetheless, but at least he gets a kill. Flight draws the aggro as well. I mean, the big thing with all that going on is Abed goes down mid lane though to Lal, and I think a rotation out of Mira Skywrath Mage as well.
Yeah, that's a big find, giving this rookie some momentum. His early game start. They're going to get another kill in this bottom lane for the Shopify side. Does get the PA very low here, but Chen kill in this PA lane has gone incredibly well for Shopify.
So this incredible new item called the Cornucopia, a great new name for it. The damage in lane, I really wonder if we're going to start seeing people just go for it first instead of some others. Like, sometimes there's value in, like, say, Troll with the Battle-Free build-up. You like the Perseverance prior because of the mana to be able to save for your axes. Sometimes you see people, they need the damage with the Broadsword or the Claymore, but I wonder how the Cornucopia is going to be prioritized over some of the other ones, as we do see Abed. He's looking to try and get some revenge down bottom instead. They will have plenty of time to react though from Spirit if they would like to, but this at least attempt from Shopify is not going to work out at the moment.
It does feel like, it's a decent buff to Battle Fury, just like, a bit of a cheaper build-up. Like, it's basically a better Perseverance. The only downside is, like, Ring of Health in the past, like, it's a cheaper item, so you can get that regen earlier, so you have to survive to get 12. Getting 1,200 gold is a lot harder than getting that, 900 gold. But once you get there, you're really happy with the stats it gives you.
Whoa, what's this? Is deep behind the tower. Collapse. He's okay. They're probably going to turn to Miposhka, though. With the blast off, it's plenty of damage to secure with a kill, and now Mira's in some trouble as well. But maybe Lyle can look to clean up. He's used all his Blink Strike charges. How is he going to escape from this? Oh, Lyle, too heavy of a commitment. Now Collapse as well. He's getting chased down from Arteezy too. They've got plenty of slows to hold him down. Skew is there to work with, but he's just maybe going to try and kill someone before they get him in return, and he'll be able to do so successfully. And he's pretty tanky with his Vanguard. The respawns are coming up, and Yatoro's going to look to join as well. Collapse got some stick charges. Can he survive long enough for the skew up? That'll not be the case, but the cleanup queue has arrived. Yatoro getting some much needed essence. I don't know if he wins the man fight versus the Underlord though. Shadow Dance going to be activated. They're fighting on top of the Firestorm, and As soon as the dance expires, Yatoro won't be able to stick around.
I'm definitely getting punished, though, for sticking around a bit too long, chasing too long, really wanting that Magnus kill, but I quickly learned that, hey, Vanguard is, a pretty good item right now.
Get him.
Definitely something that has to be respected there. The PA, not hitting hard enough, basically tickling into the Vanguard, and they lose the techies and a bit more, even though they do end up bringing down the Magnus. Just not really worth it, given that, that was a 5-hero commitment. It started off well, but they just kind of, took a bit too long to get that extra kill and lost a bit of farm because of it.
Yeah, and I think really the big thing for me is that was that first move as well from Lal, and we saw he wasn't able to capitalize. In fact, Arbed he was, so getting him a little bit closer towards the Bloodstone. And I feel like this Ricky's not a hero that's going to play well from behind, so you need to capitalize on every single early movement you can make.
Yeah, I think the big thing there is like both mid laners like rotate in at like similar times, but Shopify is able to get their top laner, the Underlord, in instantly because of Dark Rift, whereas Slark, he sort of shows up a bit later for some cleanup. It's also just not really Slark's job to show up to these early fights. So if Shopify want to bring 5 heroes to take a fight, I think Spirit just have to like cut their losses. Like, it's like, okay, we can't really be taking 5v5s. We definitely don't want to take like 3v5s, 4v5s. Like, we just need to wait for our Slark to at least finish an Echo Saber, get that wine item, then we can consider bringing him to these fights where Shopify like overcommit a bit.
Oh. Looks like tower is going to end up going down. Yatoro is a little bit alone. The team is starting to smoke towards him. Very nice scan though from Dai. Great read from Shopify.
We're trying to see what they could do as far as maybe killing a Slark, but quickly think better of it. Still in the neighborhood here. And this blur being used very effectively to kind of scout without popping it, but eventually Arteezy realized, just time. Just gotta finish my Battle Fury now. No need to try and force something that's going to be very difficult to execute.
I guess at least the smoke from Spirit, they're able to lay down a deep observer ward, so maybe next time this maneuver might be able to pay out for them. Because you are looking to try and blow heroes up now. That Mira has that level 6. There is a lot of kill threat.
Yep.
And they might be gearing towards Arbed mid, but Sablelight's going to try and TP, and they'll bring some extra numbers as well. Fly's isolated. Spirit, they're going to be able to get the easy kill into the Crystal Maiden. They'll Delta split away as well. Arbed should be able to easily catch up to Mira. So another trade of supports. Alright, they just feed a Cory away.
Yeah, really, both teams posturing for these ancient stacks that have been made for Arteezy. That's why Spirit wanted to get in that deep ward and really contest this. But pretty hard to kind of fight early on into, I think, Shopify's lineup. Like, all you need is, like, Unlord to be there. He just acts as this big, beefy wall, drops the Firestorm down. You can't really fight into it. You're forced to disengage, and PA can pretty easily just take the Ancient stacks as a result.
This is a very interesting build from Collapse. I just want to hold that thought. Are they gearing off the Saberlight? I don't know, dude. He's so difficult to kill. Mira doesn't have the Mystic Flare as well. They're going to try and TP Collapse in, though. RP is at the ready. He's going to try and find an angle for it. It's just onto one. It looks like Crit's going to try and disrupt them as well. Sablelight's still alive enough. Fly. Oh, man. Look at the freezing field damage. Fly. Not enough. Collapse might still go down to the Sticky Bomb. Just survives 40 health. Collapse is okay with the Strength Threads.
Ultis like that, I feel like Fly's robbed. Like, come on, you should at least get one kill. He just did, like, 2k plus damage just with that one freezing field, and they're going to rift away. Heading back to Fountain just to heal up. Okay, just using it for a quick little Fountain trip. I mean, that's the thing. There's so much different utility and ways to use this ultimate, and even just for a quick little Fountain trip to really force the issue around this mid lane to come back healthy. And they know while doing this, by being healthy, they're creating all this space and room for Arteezy just to free farm away in the jungle.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Okay, and now Lal's already jumping for another. Should be able to slow down Fly and catch up to him in the end. Some much needed gold is going to be given over to Lal to get him closer to the defusal. Now Crit, he popped out of the tree line. So more perma agi as well for Yatoro. And I mean, the previous fight looked pretty decent with Shopify being able to reset away from the RP. But the 3 heroes just bleeding their lives mid lane. Spirit are very happy with that.
Yeah, and it wasn't like it was any kind of surprise maneuver or anything like that. It was just Shopify getting a bit overconfident about how strong specifically their Underlord is. It was like, okay, we rift back to base, we come back, we're full health, I can just kind of put myself on the high ground and nuke down some waves, but bring everybody, including the Slark. That's the big thing there, is like, with just this Echo Saber, the Yatoro showing up to these fights is well worth it. And Arteezy finishing off some good farm in the jungle, all that was going on. That's kind of the trade-off there. But definitely a fight that I think Shopify were probably thinking, yeah, we probably didn't need to force that. Not without our PA.
Both sides are making a move across the map. It's going to be mid that the first fight will break out. So simultaneously back to the right side, Arteezy. Great use of the blur. He is more than okay. So took the stack, got the Ancient Farm at the right side, got the Wisdom Room as well. So already Arteezy's farming patterns are on point with the new patch.
You just farmed like a double stack of Ancients, then like a triple stack, and then you got another Ancient Camp right after. So this new Dire and Radiant Triangles with double Ancients is so good for some of these Ancient farmers.
Oh, Yotaro. Wait, he's going to take... Okay, not going to be able to take the Rift now. And Pounce was already used. Arteezy was able to block that, so... You've got some really big PA issues. Arteezy top of the net worth by a long shot, and Yotoro's continuing to have a rough game. And this is not like this matchup is too ideal for the Slark as well as this game goes on.
Nobody keeps up with a PA in terms of farm, and in terms of late game, how do you deal with a super farm PA? This PA is going to be like, I think, give it like 10 minutes, I think PA is going to be like 5k net worth ahead of everyone in this game with the Battle Fear. And maybe he prioritizes joining fights and not continuing just to like play super greedy with how strong he is. But yeah, this PA is a big issue, and I don't see any kind of immediate solution on the Spirit side. They're going to have to take some good fights, play around like, their ultis, their brawling, their smokes, and just try and basically just chain together a bunch of good kind of pickoffs and kills. Yeah. And ideally some objectives to get them some good map control.
And for usually Slark's lineup, this 15 to 20 minutes is where they shine. This is that next big night time where you want to try and roam and get all the pickoffs. And, well, this is definitely one of them with the kill into crit. They should be able to find the tier 1 tower as well. But they need to keep going. Even without this scepter completed right now for Yotoro, you need to keep hunting on the map. You cannot allow Shopify to play this farm game. Yeah,
it's very easy. You look at their draft and it's like Slark plus Ricky. These are, they're assassin heroes. And you've got a Skywrath mage, which is also kind of like just a support that specializes in doing damage and getting kills. They're not looking to like team fight, get bulky. They just want to snipe heroes and then back off and farm. Just keep sniping hero after hero. There's no 5-manning. There's no, let's force this tower and just right click it slowly. Like, they don't take objectives well, other than like maybe Roshan with their physical damage. Even that they don't take particularly well. So they've got to get some good vision up, use the Ricky invis to scout and just keep trying to find these pickoffs. They can't afford to slow down here and let PA just storm ahead in terms of net worth.
I mean, they're doing that though. We see where Lyle's positioning, like Mira's playing behind them as well, but they're just a little bit too late. Like Arteezy's always one step ahead, and Shopify, they're actually trying to gear up for a defense here. Saberlight's going to try and start with stalling this push out. Meanwhile, they might run into Mira first, but the smoke's going to pop with that cliff ward. Spirit have had plenty of time to react. How are they going to take the team fight? Of course, this is big RP potential, but Saberlight, he's going to be able to hold the Magnus into place, and but they're just going to expend Mira. They recognize that that's not a fight with how it started. They want to continue on with, so they're going to just try and cut their losses at one.
They can't really take these 5v5s. I mean, they want to force these fights and ganks. It's just a very hard playstyle to not just execute, but like if your opponents play around it, like there's no way to like force these kills to happen. You're kind of relying a little bit on mistakes, or your opponent's getting a little bit greedy with their farming patterns.
Hang on, they're coming.
They are killing these supports again and again. You can get some 5v3 fights if you kill supports.
Might not have Lalo for this further fight. Freeze. Whoa. Alright, we're going to be able to kill him off. Simultaneously though, Yotoro. To crit, but even just with the two, they're going to struggle. Yotoro does have the scepter now. So let's see what he's able to do off the back of that. RP's still at the ready as well, but it looks like with the 5v4 that Shopify have now, they're just splitting away. We're still hunting. He's going to be able to catch out crit inside the tree line. Nothing really much Arteezy is able to do, but Yotoro is thinking twice about making this attempt. It wasn't clean. He wasn't able to get the kill and get out before the rest of the reinforcements showed up.
See how tough of a game this is for the Shopify supports. They're kind of like playing into Slark and Ricky. This is like a support nightmare. two of the worst heroes, especially if you ask,
Wait,
new players.
They're making a go. Arteezy?
Whoa, he just got deleted.
All right. I mean, that's the Mystic Flare damage. They've been waiting for an opportunity to use that the entirety of the game, and finally, they're able to bring down Arteezy, his first death of the game. And when he went that Desolator out, so didn't have the BKB to play with.
And it was still just a trade for the Riki. Obviously a win when you're killing the top net worth hero, but you see Shopify, they're like, okay, not ideal, but we get the trade and we immediately get this top tier 1 tower, although also denied, so small victories for Spirit, but you can just see how strong this Shopify draft is where, they lose their mega farm carry and then they're like, it's fine, we'll just push forward, get a tower, back off and keep farming. Like, there's just too many options for them in terms of like scaling and survivability on their 3 cores. But there's still ways Spirit can take these fights. We see how easily they eat up these supports. Like, I think Shopify desperately need to try and get some farm in their supports. So, they're going to be praying for like Philosopher's Stones for the CM as well as Techies. I think that would be like a huge item, because getting items to stay alive is crucial, because they're the #1 targets that Spirit want to kill first.
Yeah, and we see Spirit, they've been playing very active with a couple of their heroes, but one person who hasn't been with them is Maposhka. And this Chen is farming up a storm. This is mech drums already completed. We know with all his aura items is a pretty decent support to be able to scale into a lot of the team fights. So we'll see what he's going to be able to add very shortly once we do get these 5-on-5 fights.
Oh, kalma lang kalma. Relax lang.
Things slowing down a bit here in the mid game. It's now daytime once again, making maybe some of these movements a little bit trickier for Spirit. Not having that nighttime for the Slug to play around, but instead they're going to smoke. Try maybe use this Skywrath to lead.
This is a scary spot. Up on the high ground, they've got the advantage. They get it. Yotoro's on the low ground. They see him though. They know exactly where the Slark is. They're going to make the attempt onto Arbed, but the Mystic Flare lay it down. Arbed's going to get blown up. So no Lesh for a lot of their damage. Collapse finds an angle into the middle. RP onto 2, but Yotoro's on the outskirts, so the Slark's not getting full use out of the ultimate. Finally, he's going to find an angle to pounce in, and, well, this is the team fight that Spirit have been waiting for. 3 go down, make it a 4th as well, as finally Spirit get a 5-on-5 where they excel in.
Yeah. Just having the vision advantage. I mean, and really, it wasn't like they had a ward advantage or any kind of scouting. It was just Riki who just managed, like, Shopify aren't expecting to get jumped there. They don't have a sentry down because they're behind the tier 1 tower, but all you have to do is scout out a key target in the Leshrac, and Riki's like, okay, I'm jumping. I've got my shard, plus the Mystic Flare for enough damage, so Leshrac just gets, full to zeroed without really dishing out any damage. And once the Lesh is dead, that's most of Shopify's damage down. Until PA gets a BKB, that's just not a fight they're interested in taking. And yeah, these fights really come down to like who's going to be the one who starts the fight. If Shopify the one getting the jump, they can, do fine, but...
Easy?
Yeah, he's worried about Roshan, maybe?
I mean, no RP though. That was really huge for Spirit in this previous fight. They're going to see Arteezy separated from the team. Arteezy, he's going to get blown up before they're able to react fast enough. And a Saberlight, they're going to try and block him away from the rift. Get back through, but he won't be able to. A Shopify Rebellion just bleeding a couple of kills in the past minutes, and now Spirit, they're going to be able to find first Roche uncontested.
Yeah, and bleeding self-inflicted wounds there, really. Arteezy was just chilling on the high ground. He didn't really have any business being there. He should have just maybe stuck around the top lane, but he reveals his position. They hadn't even seen him. He's like, I'm just going to dagger it. And as soon as he daggers, Spirit's like, what? You're here alone? We'll go on you. And that has a domino effect where Underlord follows it up, thinking he's got to go in, that they can take this fight, but you can't kind of trickle in one by one, not against a draft as strong as Spirits, where they've got all this kind of hero-killing potential. You've got to go about it as 5.
Ever since Arteezy got this Desolator, this game has just looked a little bit awkward since. We haven't really been able to see the value of it, or I should say the power of it so far, I should say, before the BKB. And he's got that item queued up, but you've got a huge window now for Spirit. This is a Boots of Bearing completed on Maposhka as well. So one successful fight, and these buildings are going to fall incredibly fast.
We're seeing... Yeah, they get the Tormentor, and they're just kind of ramping up on the Spirit side. Like, the Chen creeps, giving them all these extra useful auras, extra spells, stuff like Ice Armor. You know, against the PA can even be useful on from the Ogre Frost Mage. So there's just a lot of useful utility things that Spirit, you know, it doesn't look like they have much team fight outside the Magnus, but, you know, with the Chen having all these items and, you know, these creeps getting upgraded as time goes on, there is some pretty good, like, team fighting potential now, particularly with an Aegis in hand.
What to keep in mind too is Shopify, they've already got a 4-star on Fly, and there's one getting queued up for crit as well, but if you're going on the cores, you're not going to be able to use these inside the smoke cloud on LoL. So yes, they'll be great for your own individual purposes, but if cores are caught out inside this smoke cloud, they will be killed off. Especially now, Collapse has got that blink in level 15 as well, so the extra damage, depending on who is able to catch down inside the RP, and he's been pretty solid so far this game, and now he's got a blink to work with. Another Manta though queued up, so very interesting. A lot of stats for the Universal Hero. I have not seen him go down the Spirit Vessel build in his pub games that I saw recently with him playing the Magnus, but he's been liking this Manta.
Yes. I mean, that seems to be the way most of these Universal Heroes are played, where you're, you know, if you're not like a full-on support, you want to get as much stats as possible, since you're getting damage from all stats, you know? Every single stat you get is giving you a little bit of damage and just better scaling, and otherwise you just, you know, you end up too squishy and stuff if you don't go for these big stat items.
Oh, this is huge. They got BKB and double damage room bottom, but look at Lyle's positioning.
Yeah.
Does actually clip him.
Okay.
He's got BKB to work with. He's going to try and activate it. Oh, Collapse! Over the top of the tree line. RP on 3, but where's the follow-up? They're going to be a little bit too late to get full usage out of the RP. And Lyle, he's caught out as well. Blink's still up and ready to work with. Tries to get some separation, but Arteezy jumps further behind the tier 2 tower. PA knows no way to stop. Cleans up 2 members instantly. And now he's going to be looking for some more valuable targets as well as Mira. The sky is going to fall along with his fellow brethren. So not even done just yet. Arteezy, another jump on the high ground. The crits are raining down as Collapse, he too will be a result of the double damage rune. What a perfect timing to Shopify to get this power rune along with the BKB on the Phantom Assassin.
Yeah, just absolute dream timing. Spirit didn't see it coming, and even with, and like, Magnus shows up, gets a decent RP, but they don't have the numbers or the follow-up, so it kind of slows down Shopify there. But as soon as that RP stun wears off, PA is just going in, chasing even further, almost kills the Slark there with a crit cleave that gets him down to like 150-ish health. Just the perfect timing, and, you know, that's about as good as it gets. So they win that big fight. The game is still very tricky for Shopify, but a 4,000 gold swing just off of that one fight. Having the Orb of Destruction to go with the Battle Fury BKB Deso on Arteezy is just absolutely monstrous, but this game's still very much in the balance here, so it does feel like it really is going to come down to the execution over the next 5-10 minutes and how teams play around that next Roshan.
Still, you've got a big PA issue. Arteezy just got 2 full levels off the back of that fight. So his ultimate's maxed out now, so more damage, super close to that level 20 as well, which is going to make fighting even more difficult for Spirit. And he's got a Basher queued up. So the supports are going to be free food for him. Even some of the cores as well are going to struggle with man fighting. Maybe this could be the item. Your Toro has gone for the Silver's Edge, so maybe this is going to be something that can potentially enable them to kill Arteezy in the fights.
Yeah, and it's not like a great hero to build MKB on, so I actually really like the Silver Edge pick up here. It's just much better stats, 52 damage, 35 attack speed. Gives you like an yeah, they're kind of doubling and now tripling down on invis and whatnot. Like, so, you know, Sentries and Gem have insane value, but, you know, you lose a gem and suddenly you can't buy a new one. It's pretty hard to maintain vision at all times, not to mention Slark is like one of the best heroes to de-ward with, so puts pressure on the Shopify side to always have that detection.
They're coming. They want another fight here from Shopify. They're going to try and charge up towards the triangle though. Spirit were there a couple of seconds ago. They look to vacate away from the area. They're moving down towards the bottom outpost area of the map. They might be there in time, though, for this Wisdom Rune.
Seems to be something they're thinking of snagging. They're in their own. We'll see who ends up taking it.
So, Saberlight took it. Thought maybe Arteezy would to get closer towards the 20. But they ripped
Dark Rift for the other, just for the Wisdom Rune.
Who gets it this time? They're all out.
Yeah. There's a... What they had to address as well, but no, they're good to go here. They've kind of controlled both those Wisdom runes, but while that was going on, they were kind of sticking as 5. Spirit were just kind of elsewhere farming the map, getting like maybe 1,000 more gold in terms of their lead, so it wasn't like a bit of XP going the way of the Underlord, but overall, they're just thinking about that next team fight.
They're gonna, skewers off the mark, and awkward starts with the initiation. They're still gonna try and follow through. Arbed will get blown up. RP used defensively just to hold RTZ down inside the BKB, but he's still in fighting shape, and look at the cleave. Yutoro's gonna be cautious. The depth shard's gonna be activated. Spirit will have enough time to be able to react, but over to the right side. They're making the attempt over towards Fly's Chris the Maiden. In and out they go. An easy couple of kills from either side to find, but you definitely say Spirit are the happier ones with getting that big kill onto Arbed's Leshrac.
Yeah. Anytime they jump left, these fights just go perfectly. The smoke screen just obliterating any and all saves. And we're seeing the PA kind of lacking the ability to kind of lock on and kill some of these heroes just because Shopify's draft really lacks some lockdown here. Like the Pit of Malice, and the CM can't reliably use Frostbite and spells because anytime the CM shows, she's just dying. Like, you can't run in and cast Frostbite, so it's really up to Arteezy to go on someone and lock them down himself, which is why he's gone for this Basher, looking to upgrade to an Abyssal Blade, because he's looking at how these fights go, and he's just getting kited, so he needs as much lockdown as possible.
They're going to be cautious. Doesn't seem like they have everyone at the moment from Spirit, so they're pretty hesitant about making this jump. How big do we feel like it was just the RP onto Arteezy in that last fight? Because it did waste like a decent chunk of his BKB, and they could reposition after the kind of rougher initiation. Do we feel like that's something Collapse needs to be further considering with the upcoming fights and just holding Arteezy down with that RP?
Yeah, I think it's good enough. I mean, he's definitely the prime target to get, even if you're not killing him. If you can, like you say, buy time, like or his BKB duration, or even just let your, Ricky and Slark kill other people while Arteezy gets control, because PA is the kind of hardest kill to go for, so you're much happier trying to kill the squishies and other targets.
Shopify always seem to be pretty on point with his Tormented timing, so instantly looking to pick that one up and making a play off the back of that. Lala and Toro, they're going to see Arbed, and they'll pop crit smoke as well. Radiant are all behind them. They're still ready to fight. Collapse is in the wings. He's just waiting for that perfect opportunity. They'll make the go onto crit, looking to take the techies out of the equation. They're stuck inside the river, though. This is an awkward spot for them to be. They're going to be forced to leap away. Lull under the cover of the BKB. He's going to be okay for the moment as well. They just want an all-out retreat, considering crit did just buy back. Look at the wraparound, though, from Yutoro. He's going to try and find the angle. Meanwhile, Arteezy just assassinates Mirror. So we're 4 for 5 for Spirit. An awkward start. It's a call for them.
And do they force the issue here? Just a dead Skywrath, Shopify. Yep.
Oh, this is a great angle. They got a great ward as well to play with. They got a glimpse of Collapse, I think, in the tree line. They're going to be able to stop his blink towards Arteezy, though. Phantom Strike gets some separation. Another great RP, but there's just no follow-up. Yep. Collapse is forced to try and skew it to the left side. He's going to be okay for the moment. Maybe there's a window for Yutoro to get into the middle. Shadow Dance going to be able to cover him for the moment. You got to keep eyes on Arbed. This AoE damage could prove to be an issue. Yutoro's still in fighting shape. Towards Arteezy they go. They'll bring down the PA. In and out. The perfect fight from Team Spirit, considering to dance. And there's just nothing Shopify are able to do against it. Oh, their plays are just perfect. Spirit looking incredible. Just a read from them to never heavily commit. In and out they go, wanting these long drawn out fights, and they're doing a great job to always continue to kite Shopify.
Just poke and prod, ignore the Underlord specifically, don't fight around the Firestorm and the Pit of Malice. It just does too much damage with the percent-based damage, and just pull them in. Like, Shopify they can't disengage because you get to chase them down. You have Ricky and Slark, but at the same time, they can't force a fight because they lack that clear catcher initiation. Underlord, Leshrac, PA, there's no clear way to, jump on someone. Same with the supports. It's a CM. It's not like you've got, let's say, a Rubik or, the Earthshakers. There's no, easy stun to just guarantee a kill when you go in. So, this execution for Shopify is really difficult when it comes to securing these kills.
Collapse is looking for a target. Won't be able to run into anyone though. The tier 2 tower is going to end up going down. And Spirit going to be happy with that. 9,000 net worth lead has been accumulated. They've still got their Tormentor to look to claim as well. Shopify just... I mean, it seems like a couple of their cores are struggling to have some impact inside some of the fights. Yes, we saw Artesian what he can do with the DD, but... I mean, also the Leshrac as well. Abed was in the middle of all of that, but just didn't really feel his impact prior.
Yeah. He's... In general, this game, it feels like he's struggling to... find a way to impact things. He's got a Scythe of Vice now, so get some extra control. I've kind of harped upon the lack of, catch and ability to kill heroes. The Scythe does help fix that, but the problem for Abed is he's, target numero uno in all these fights, so this is not a really... it's not a defensive item that's going to help keep him alive. And we're seeing often in these fights that he gets jumped on the smoke screen and just melts, so the plate melt's going to help once he gets it, but he needs to be very careful with his positioning.
There are a couple of interesting things, and importantly, Lol, he's gone for this new item in the Disperser, so no idea if it's good or not. We're about to find out. And another thing, Collapse got the Ag Shard, but I mean, he's only got one level in the Shockwave, so not a lot of value out of that. As meanwhile, your Taurus should be able to find a freebie onto Crit, maybe not. Going on? This is kind of messy. A couple of die heroes down bottom. Your is actually going to TP out. Okay. Hunting. Still around. He's going to come back through the portal. An easy kill. A little bit of stacks for them to work with. Oh, where does he run? They're just completely disconnected. Arteezy, he's going to pop out a blur. Jumped out of the south. This is so awkward. Oh no, Arteezy. 2 down, drag back in the Mystic Flare. More stacks for Yatora. What a mess. And now Saberlight. Did you take the riff? Where to go?
He's heading back, he's hiding, he's entering turtle mode. You're up against an Aegis Slark now who's building up more and more stacks, and the itemization into this Silver Edge has paid off in spades. He's got the Aghanim Scepter plus Bloodthorn to go with it, so plenty of answers to the PA evasion, and they're in full control now, it feels like, on the Team Spirit side. Just move around the map, getting kills at will. And it's going to be a tough ask for Shopify to turn this one around. They had this really scary PA who was ahead of everyone on net worth, but then a couple bad force fights, and suddenly things have flipped the script, and Shopify are the ones in complete control with a 16k gold lead.
At least for them, their high ground defense is pretty solid with the Firestorm and just their spam from afar. So even though with the lead they've been able to build up here from Spirit, they probably won't be able to bring down any towers, even though that Arteezy is dead. So I mean, it's still going to be a lot of map to play with. You got nighttime for another 3 minutes 30. So have fun getting outside your base.
Definitely the big thing, Slark, Ricky Core is like, they're two heroes that kind of do the same thing, but they're just both two heroes that seem very strong right now. Slark specifically great against the Underlord. This game, Ricky just, generally speaking, a good assassin hero. Much better on this new patch with the new shard, and because they've got these two cores, yeah, going high ground is just, even with an Aegis, is not really an option. You've always got to kind of kill heroes first, then hit the buildings when they're dead, so even with Aegis, they're not going to force any kind of a high ground. They're just kind of waiting for Shopify to come and take the next big fight, but obviously Shopify, no interest in doing that, at least while there's an Aegis in hand. Maybe they go for some kind of desperation move, because you can't just sit in your base forever. Like, it's a 17, 18k gold lead right now. If you sit in your base waiting for them to push high ground, they'll just never push high ground. Like, if you're a Spirit, you are happy with this game going 45, 50, 60 minutes, because guess what? You're going to have a 40k, 50k gold lead if all Shopify are doing is sitting in their base. So at some point, the way Shopify have to play this is like, okay, guys, we got to make a move. We got to smoke out. We got to make a move. We're being outfarmed. We're going to lose this game. It's up to us to make, like, the onus is on them to make the first move here.
And well, they feel like their lanes are in a good enough position to be able to make a play. Aegis has expired as well. Currently see Toro looking to try and claim the outpost, but of course they have no other wards to play with on Shopify. This map is completely dark for them.
Yep. Very much a desperation smoke, like you say. Your opponents have full map control, full vision, and you're just hoping that you find the right target with this 5-man smoke, and it's very telegraphed too. If you're Spirit, you're like, No one's farming this mid-wave that's at the tier 3 tower. Like, what's going on? We don't see a single enemy hero. And you also know the only way your opponents get back in this game is by going for these 5-man desperation smokes. So, you know, any Dota player worth their salt is going to see this coming, and it's just whether or not, you know, how you play around it. And so far, so good for them.
This is the classic fly thing, though. Just stand on a high ground on top of your ward. Arteezy's going to run to the low ground, though, so it is kind of not following the job. Toro's going to try and poke, get some reactions out. They're going to get confirmation of where Shopify are playing. They see Lull, but of course it's very awkward for Shopify to start with their heroes. Flies whip them back into place. He's like, guys, yeah, this high ground, we're not leaving. We're staying here. Don't go low ground, nothing like that.
This ward we commit to. We have to force a fight. We play on this ward. We will get something.
Or
it's so hard. Like, who forces the fight? It's such a tricky spot to be in.
Collapse position. Also on the outskirts, Saberlight. Oh my lord. Both sides so aware. So aware, yet just so scared as well.
Yep. That's the thing. Spirit recognizes it. They kind of know they've lost the control of that high ground. They don't want to go, you know, play into an enemy high ground with his vision.
Oh, no collapse!
He got
him. The Manta Illusion, I believe, got the vision of Saberlight in the tree line. And now that's the pickoff they needed. Just needed one. Didn't matter who.
Yep.
Now up the high ground they can go. They're not leaving, though. They're not leaving.
They're like... This is the high ground we want. We're not gonna. If you go back to defend your base, they just back off and go back to farming. So they want to. They don't really want to TP back to base because they know they're not going to get a good fight. They're just going to get a disengage, and a disengage doesn't cut it right now. They're
coming out. Arteezy.
Yeah, they got it. They got it.
Great timing with the Ghost Scepter. BKB is going to be activated. He'll turn to collapse over on the right side, but Arteezy just doesn't have enough damage. And as soon as the PA is killed off, the team fight is just in shambles afterwards. Saberlight tries to TP out, but it'll be stopped short. And that's going to be a dieback for him. And everyone else is chased further and further inside their own territory. It's time for Team Spirit to pillage the base. And, well, they want the killers before they deal with the objectives. 4 down. And in the end, that's going to be game called as well. So for our last series of the night, we've got another 1-1 tie.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of ends up looking a bit one-sided, but up until like 20, 25 minutes in, it was a very close game. If anything, it felt like Shopify were maybe going to be the ones to run away with it with how good of a game Arteezy was having. So